All right, got a great video here for you today, so let's get into it. The Grizzlies are taking on the Rockets, 7 p.m. Eastern start time on Sunday, March 6th, 2022. Memphis is minus 10.5, totals 236. We're 2-0 in our last two NBA tier package bets on Pt.2. And the link for today's NBA tier package bet is in the description section below. Now, if you're not signed up for that package, or if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll explain a little bit more about it in just a moment. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the video. My name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. I also sell my personal bets on Pt.2. We currently have over 835 members who are signed up and active on my safe and secure webpage right now. Now, you may be wondering what the difference is between what I do here on YouTube and what I do on my website. Well, what I do here on YouTube is I'll handicap the entire slate of games in any given sport, side, and total. And what I do on my website is I'll actually share with you which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally. And one more thing, guys, before we get into our free content here. Just remember that if you sign up for a membership here today on BrockPage.com, you're actually going to get access to that package every single day, all the way through the end of March. But anyway, when it comes to this Memphis-Houston game, and as far as giving a free pick here, well, I'll tell you this much, it could be a real rough evening for the Rockets. No real surprise there. These guys actually haven't won a game since February 2nd, and they currently find themselves in the middle of a 12-game skid. Now, the Rockets are allowing more points per contest at home than any other team in the association. They're also dead last in the league in defensive field goal percentage at home. Now, they're taking on a Memphis team on the other side of things who actually won 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And in addition to that, they currently rank in the top 3 in the NBA in scoring on average per game. Now, when it comes to rebounding the basketball in this one, there's actually no one in the league who does it better offensively than Memphis. These guys are currently first in the NBA in offensive boards per game. Now, John Morant, he's grabbing nearly 6 rebounds per contest, but we're really not even concerned about rebounding with him because this guy's a scoring machine. He's averaging over 27.5 points a night. And when it comes to shooting the 3-ball, Desmond Bane, he's drilling nearly 42% of his shots from beyond the arc. Now, when it comes to defensive play in this one, the Grizzlies are actually in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. And they're also amongst the better defensive rebounding teams in the West. Now, injury-wise, Brooks is still out. Ponce is questionable. Meanwhile, for Houston on the other side, Garuba is out. Schroeder is questionable as well. When it comes to the total in this one, 5 out of Houston's last 9 got over the line. They're also 18-11 to the over at the Toyota Center. Meanwhile, Memphis is 20-13 to the over when they travel. I'm going to lean toward Memphis minus 10.5 and the over 236. Next contest, it is going to be Jazz versus the Thunder, 7 p.m. Eastern start time. Utah is minus 13.5, totals 220. But before you go ahead and pound the Jazz here today, just keep in mind they failed to cover the point spread in 4 out of their last 5 ball games, so really not doing a great job cashing in tickets for their backers. And as a matter of fact, the Jazz failed to cover against the likes of New Orleans, Houston, and the Lakers during that span I just mentioned. They also have a losing record against the point spread this year when they travel. And even though there's very little to nitpick about when it comes to the Jazz, just keep in mind that they do give up the majority of their points in the fourth quarter on the road. So these guys do tend to give up points late in games when they travel. That back door always open with regard to Utah. Especially on the road. But anyway, they're taking on a Thunder team who covered the point spread in 6 out of their last 9 outings. And they also do a pretty good job covering the point spread at home. OKC's currently 19-12 against the spread at the Paycom Center. And that's good for 62% in that particular category. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's averaging over 23.5 points per contest along with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Darius Bazley is averaging 6.5 boards a game, along with double-digit points per contest, just about. And when it comes to defensive play in this one, OKC's actually in the top 10 in the league in defensive field goal percentage. So these guys are doing a nice job in the paint. Really, doing a good job, defensively, defensive field goal percentage. Yeah. Anyway, injury-wise, lots of scratches for the Thunder here today. Favors, Williams, Jerome, Dort, Robinson, Earl, and Giddey. They're all out for today's contest. Wiggins is also listed as questionable with an ankle. Meanwhile, for Utah on the other side, Hernan Gomez is questionable for them. Conley is out. When it comes to the total in this one, Utah is 60% to the under in their last 10 outings. They also saw 7 out of their last 10 ball games against OKC fall under the line. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, OKC on the other side of things, they saw unders recently with Chicago and Philadelphia. I'm going to lean toward OKC plus 13.5 and the under 220. Next matchup, it is going to be Raptors versus the Cavaliers, 7:30 p.m. East. Cleveland's minus 4.5, totals to 11. And even though the Cavs have hit a bit of a rough patch here lately, they're still playing some pretty good basketball at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. These guys are 19 and 11 straight up at home this year, and they're covering in 60% of those home games. Darius Garland scoring over 20 points per contest, along with 3 rebounds and 8 assists. Meanwhile, Jared Allen, he's averaging over 16 points a game himself, along with double-digit rebounds. And speaking of rebounds, the Cavs are actually in the top 10 in the league in defensive boards per contest. When it comes to defensive play in this one, the Cavs are allowing fewer points per game than any other team in the NBA. Now, they're taking on a banged-up Raptors club who actually lost 6 out of their last 9. And they covered the point spread in only twice during that span. Now, the Toronto Raptors, they have had some difficulties this year on the defensive end of the court when traveling. These guys actually find themselves in the bottom 10 in road defensive field goal percentage. And in addition to that, they're actually having a tough time grabbing defensive boards in that very same category. Now, when it comes to the injury list in this one here today, Anunoby, Wilson, and Johnson are out. Not going to see those guys in action. Meanwhile, Flynn and Van Fleet, they are listed as questionable as well. So if you're looking to fire on this game, definitely want to pay attention to that injury report by tip-off. Now, total-wise, Toronto saw their last 3 straight fall under the line. 70% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, Cleveland went 60% to the under in their last 10 themselves. The Cavs they're officially 22-8 to the under as the home team as well. I'm going to lean toward Cleveland minus 4.5 and the under 211. All right. Next ball game I have for you, it is going to be Pels Nugs, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Now, Denver's minus 3.5 in the Mile High City. Total's at 228. And speaking of the total in this one, Denver saw 3 out of their last 4 ball games fall under the line. Those were unders against the likes of Houston, Portland, and Sacramento. Now, the Nuggets also went 8-2 to the under in their last 10 meetings with New Orleans. So if you're into historical trends, once again, plenty of unders to go around here. Meanwhile, the Pelicans on the other side of things, they went 4-0 to the under in their last 4 straight themselves. Now, they're officially 20-11 to the under when they travel. And when it comes to selecting a winner in this one, this game's being featured as my $1.99 daily best play on BrockPage.com. And if you want to access today's $1.99 daily best play, the link for that bet is in the description section below. Guys, we're 9-3 with a push in our last 13 bets in that very category. And that's good for 75% during that span. So if you want to see whether I like the Nuggets laying the points at home, or if I like New Orleans catching the 3.5 while traveling, there's only one way to find out, and that's to sign up for my $1.99 daily best play on BrockPage.com. But as far as making a free pick goes for this game that I'm actually not betting on, I'm going to lean toward the under 228 in that ball game. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Knicks versus the Clippers, and that's going to be at 10 o'clock Eastern start time. The LA Clippers are -4 with the total at 221.5. Now, the Clippers have been playing some really good basketball here lately. They're actually on a 5-game winning streak, and they covered in 7 out of their last 8. So not only are these guys winning in real life, they're also winning in the gambling world as well. 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. Now, the Clippers have been, really powered by their defensive play this year. They're in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage at home. And they're also in the top 3 in guarding the 3 ball on their home court as well. Now, scoring-wise, Norman Powell's averaging 21 points a night with his new team. 3 rebounds, 4 assists for Powell. Meanwhile, Reggie Jackson's dropping 17 points a game himself, along with 3 boards and 4 assists. And speaking of offensive production, the Clippers are actually in the top 5 in the NBA in offensive 3-point percentage. Now, they're taking on a struggling Knicks team who lost their last 7 straight. And they actually got the W in only 3 ball games since January 15th. Now, the Knicks' biggest problem has been their offensive production, or lack thereof, however you want to look at it. These guys are scoring only 104 points a game on the road this year. They actually find themselves in the bottom 3 in shooting from the field away from their home court. Now, when it comes to head-to-head meetings between these two squads, New York lost 7 out of their last 10 games against the Clippers, and they allowed over 116 points a game during that stretch. Now, injury-wise, Toppin and Grimes are out for New York. When it comes to the total in this one, the Knicks saw their last 6 straight all get over the line. They also went 8-1 to the over in their last 9. Meanwhile, for the Clippers on the other side of things, they saw overs recently with the likes of the Lakers, Houston, and Golden State. They're also 80% to the over in their last 10 meetings with New York. I'm going to lean toward the LA Clippers -4 and the over 221.5. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Pt.2. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on my safe and secure website, you're going to get access to those bets all the way through the end of March. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single bet that I give out on that webpage, you're going to want to sign up for my board member tier package. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier pick itself, you're also going to get access to every single package that I offer on that website. The board member tier is an all-inclusive membership. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at Brockpage.com.